Setup for our TVA or deep core activation. What I'm going to get you guys to do is you're going to get one of these bands again, okay, and I want you to just put it above your knees for now, okay. We're just going to leave that there for a minute. We're going to come back to that, so that's going to stay there for a minute. And the main setup is we need to get into this quadruped, or kind of on all fours position, okay. And notice what I want to do is with my spine is I don't want to be in that that hyperlordosis, that excessive curvature of the spine. I don't want to have any of that going on. I don't want any excessive rounding either. I just want to be neutral. So I should have a small S shape, okay, my spine. So just a slight curve. And that's fine, that's all I want. I've got my hands directly underneath my shoulders. I'm pushing away from the floor, so I'm not in this position. My shoulder blades aren't sticking out my back. I'm not pushing my head towards the floor. I'm pushing through. The back of my neck is straight. I'm not looking up or looking right underneath me. I'm looking directly down, okay? So that's where I want to be. And I've got my knees pretty much directly underneath my hips. And what I'm going to do as well, I've noticed I've got my toes into the ground. There's been some research to say that having this dorsiflex position, that's lifting our feet up, really helps to activate our TBA that little bit more. So that's what we're going to do. Great. So I've got all that going on. You can also use a ball, so maybe one of these larger massage balls or just a tennis ball. This really helps because it gives us some feedback with this exercise, because it can be a little bit tricky to know, are we in the right position? Are we kind of leaning off or veering off to one side? Which is very easy to do. So this kind of gives us some feedback, because if we're not in the right position, the ball will just roll off. So if the ball rolls off, we're not in optimal alignment, okay? So what we want to do, get that ball, going to put it on our back, all right? Again, I've got a neutral lumbar curve. I'm going to draw my belly button in, okay? So once I'm here, the main point here again is what I just said there. You're going to draw your belly button in towards your spine, okay? So you're pulling your belly button in, okay? Not too hard, just gently. You're going to pull that in, and that's our drawing in maneuver. And what that's going to do is help to switch on. That's going to recruit those deep core muscles. So that's really important that we maintain that drawing in maneuver throughout this exercise and all the other progressions I'm about to show you. So we're going to pull that belly button in, keep that everything where it should be, go through all those form cues. Okay, so I'm in correct setup, pushing through my shoulder blades, neutral neck, I'm looking down, got a no excessive curve, and then maybe this is it. Then maybe I'll just start with this. This can be very tricky for a lot of people, just keeping this position and just pulling the belly button in. This is going to be your first progression right here. Once we can do this for a minute or so, once we can get to a minute, we can then start to progress. So once we've got this position down, we can hold this for 1 minute without letting our belly buttons fall out and distend. Then we can start to make it more unstable. So what we're going to do is I can start to bring one hand up off the ground. So I'm going to reduce my base of support. I can then bring the other hand up. Maybe I'll hold each one for 3 or 4 seconds. And I'll transition, all the while not losing that ball on my back. So that ball has to stay still. I need to keep that belly button pulled in. I'm just going to keep switching my hands over, okay? And again, I could do that for a minute. If I could do that, no problem. Then I can make it even harder. Now I can maybe bring one arm up at a time. I could do it for a few seconds, bring the other side up, hold it for a few seconds, or I could just hold each arm up for 1 minute or up to a minute. Change to that side, hold that side up for a minute, still keeping the ball on my back, still keeping drawing in. That could be our next progression. Then from there we could do, this is where the band comes in, because the band's going to help to resist us extending our hips, so that's going to be glute activation again. So I could do, again, maybe I'll take my right leg, pull my foot up, extend that leg, get that leg nice and straight, bringing the opposite arm up, keeping the ball on my back, keeping drawing in. Now I'm getting my core and my glutes working. Again, I could hold that for a minute. And then I could switch sides and do it on the other side. And then from there, what I could do, if I can hold each of those for 1 minute, is I could then start to do an alternating pattern. So I can start to move continuously while keeping that ball on my back. So again, I could start here, draw in, slowly transition to that side, squeeze that glute on the left, hold it, keep drawing in, come back, slowly transition to that side, lock out the knee, squeeze the glute, keep the belly button pulled in, again come back, and I've lost the ball. Again, just extend, lock out that knee. Normally I'm really good at this. Again, now we can start with that, is really starting to get our glutes and our TVA working together. And if you guys remember, you've heard me say it all throughout this whole playlist, is with this kind of dysfunction, with that low back knee dysfunction, especially that anterior pelvic tilt sign, those glutes and those deep core muscles just shut down. They get long, they get underactive. We really want to start firing these up and try and get them working together, you know, as a unit, as an integrated system. Okay, so that's going to be really important to movement and keeping everything where it should be. So we did the alternating. What I could also do, which is actually harder, is if I just keep both hands down but one leg, that's actually tougher, because now I don't have that arm as a counterbalance. So I could just do this on one side, again keeping all those form cues. I could even take this hand, put it on my shoulder. Now I don't have the limb support, so it might be the next progression that I do. What I could also do, scale it back a little bit. Now we'll go back to this position. Again, if you guys also move over this way, if you remember that glute max activation I did where we laid on the floor, we just extended the hip from the ground. I can bring that in. Why not? You can bring that arm up, get that leg straight, extend that hip, squeeze the glutes, keep the belly button pulled in, hold it for 4, come back down for 2, bring it back up. So I'm going to bring that leg up, push it away slightly towards you, hold it, 1, 2, 3, 4, come back, bring it back up, push it away, hold it there, 1, 2, 3, 4, come back. And again, I could do that for 12 to 20 reps on both sides, and that's going to be a really good way that we get those deep core muscles, get those glutes. Okay guys, the next deep core activation that we can use, or transverse abdominis exercise that we can use, is going to be our chop. Okay, so there's a few ways we can do this. I'm going to show you one that is probably going to be easiest for you guys to do at home. Normally if I was in the gym I would do this kind of in like a downward chop position, but it's a little bit tricky unless you've got something you can hook it up high in the ceiling. But again, we can anchor this low, we can still do the same effect. So again, this transverse abdominis is going to help again to resist rotation, again help keep that lumbar spine where it should be. So resisting a rotational force is going to be a really good way of activating that muscle. So what I've done, I've got a light resistance band, okay, one of these long CrossFit or Monster bands. I've anchored it to a low anchor point just around the radiator here, and I'm in a kneeling position. Okay, so on this side of the anchor point, I've got my knee down, I've got my knee up on the other side. And what I'm going to be doing again is like the quadruped ones that you saw previously. I'm going to do that drawing in maneuver. I'm going to squeeze my glutes. I'm going to tuck my pelvis under slightly, squeeze my glutes. I've got belly button drawn in, glutes tight. I'm going to grab this band here, and I'm just going to chop that band up and over my opposite shoulder. Okay, so I'm just coming up and over the opposite shoulder. I'm going to come back down for 3. I'm going to push up, hold it at the top, hold it there for 2, and I'm going to come back down 3, 2, 1. And notice guys, what I'm doing, I'm not letting this band pull me round to the left. Okay, I'm resisting rotation, so I'm keeping that trunk front and center. Okay, it's not doing anything, it's not going this way. So again, my deep core muscles have to work really hard to facilitate that. So again, I'm going to grab this band, I'm going to pull it up over that opposite shoulder, I'm going to hold it for 2 seconds, and I'm going to come back down 3, 2, 1, push back up and hold it, keep it there for 2 seconds, back down 3, 2, 1, up again. I'm going to push it up again, not rotating, resisting any rotation, keeping everything where it should be, coming back down 3, 2, 1. Okay, so again, I'm going to be doing this for 12 to 20 reps. So again, I'm in that stability endurance rep range, and again I'm doing the 3, 2, 1. So I'm going to come up, I'm going to pull up here for 1, I'm going to hold it for 2 seconds, and again I'm going to come back down 3, 2, 1. Nice and controlled, and again resisting any rotation. Now again, if I want to make this harder, I can increase the stability demands on this exercise. So what I can do is go up onto one leg. Again, keep that in that position here. Again, I'm going to stand on one leg, so I'm going to stand on the leg closest to the ankle point, bring this knee up to 90 degrees, and again I can just pull that band up, same direction, hold it for 2, come back down, 3, 2, 1, and again I'm resisting any rotation. I'm keeping everything where it should be. I'm also going to squeeze this glute on this left side. Okay, so I'm going to tuck my pelvis under, squeeze that glute along with my drawing in maneuver. And again, that's going to help keep my pelvis where it should be, help me keep nice and vertical and straight. And again, I'm going to pull back up. I'm going to hold it, 1, 2, and then back down, 3, 2, 1, back up again. I'm going to hold it for 2, back down, 3, 2, 1. Again, back up, hold it there for 2, and back down, 3, 2, 1. Good. Okay, right. So there you guys go. That's our deep core muscle activation, or our transverse abdominal transverse abdominis activation. So we've got our quadrupeds. We could do that, on all fours with the alternating legs and arms. We can add the glutes in as well with the resistance band and doing that hip extension, that leg kickback. We also had the bridges, and the bridges with the resisting rotation, and then as a progression from there, we then had our chop, so our kneeling chop. We've got a standing chop as well, again where we're resisting that rotation of the band. Again, that's all going to be facilitated by those deep core muscles, that transverse abdominis muscle, and again that's going to have that big carryover in keeping our lumbar spine and our trunk stable and keeping those vertebrae where they should be. Thanks for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll look forward to hearing from you soon.